Hey! Hi everybody. It's getting close to my bedtime, but I'm going to try and get part of this video done tonight. So I'm going to do the paper sculpture, the origami-like paper sculpture, and I went ahead and cut some paper at school on paper cutter. You guys might have one of those little, I forget what mine's called, but it has like a razor blade and you slide it down and you can get, like a perfect right angle. So what you want, if you're using printer paper or some kind of thin drawing paper, that's what this is, you want to make a square. So I made mine like it says in the tutorial, 8.5 by 8.5, because it is like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then you just, turn it and trim it to 8.5 on the other side. So you got to really try to make sure that it is perfectly square. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble. Okay, so this is the great thing about this one is we don't have to measure, we don't have to draw lines, none of that. Okay, so we just have to use our eyes to judge distances. All right, so let's begin. So I got my 8.5 square. I'm done with step 1. Okay, here we go. Next, we're going to make some diagonal creases. So that means we've got to take our paper and we've got to fold it like this. I tell my children, have Mr. Corner and Mrs. Corner meet at the corner. So we've got to line that up. Get the corners to match exactly. Press it down carefully and then crease it with your fingernails. If you don't have fingernails, you can always use a ruler to crease it, like if you really bite them down. Okay, and then we're just going to go the opposite way. So, like so. Corner to corner again. I can tell you right now, mine's already not perfect, so that's life. We will do our best. But there really is so many amazing things you can make out of paper. I just, I don't want to get out the X-Acto knife quite yet. Okay, so now I have this, and then I have to fold it in half. So, like so. We call that, well, it's like a combination hamburger hot dog fold because it's a square. Okay, really line up those corners before you press it down and crease. The creases are key to making your paper almost turns into kind of like a fabric when you get all of these folds completed. So hopefully you can see what I've got there. Yeah. Okay. Next step, step 3. More creases. Okay, so now what we've got to do is we're going to go from the bottom up to the center. And really, it's super important that you line up your edges. Take your time. I know you guys are all probably fast forwarding past my slow precision. I'm one of those people that's like methodical. I have to do it right. Okay, so there's that. And then I believe that we're gonna go like this next. But I'm gonna double check and make sure. Yep, that is the case. Okay, both sides. So it's going to be a lot of equal sides. I'm a little bit vision challenged. So it takes me a while to get to see it. And of course I just paper cut myself. We'll run into that. Okay, so now I have this. And Do you see, hopefully you can still see the cross. Yeah, the cross is still there. Okay, so now we're going to divide that in half again. So we're going to take this top edge down to the first fold. Let's see if I can show you what I mean there. Like that. So down to the first fold. And don't worry if it, if it's giving you a little bit of a hard time. I just try to press it basically at first without making a crease. Double check and then crease. Okay. So there's the fold that I've got now. So I guess if we do this correctly, it's going to want to kind of fold up into itself, so right now it's making kind of like a curve. So now we've got to do the same thing on the other side. Fold that outside edge up to the first fold, taking our time to make sure we get it as close to perfect as possible. Okay, so soft fold and then make sure you got it, crease. All right. So now we're going to do it again. All right, so now we've got to go even smaller. We're going to take the edge up to the first fold again. Oh my gosh. Is this for real? So every fold is going to be in the middle of the existing crease. That's what it's telling me. Hold on. I gotta check this. Okay, I figured it out. So we've got, at this point, I'm just trying to turn the paper toward the light so that you can see that I have an X and I have some vertical folds. Everything is vertical. So what we're going to do is we've got these two, they're about 1 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch folds. And we need to do that on the middle ones as well. So I'm going to take this line and I'm going to fold it toward the center. There it is. So it will match up with one of my folds. Just going to take my time. Do a soft fold first. Check and see if it's exactly in the middle. All right, beautiful. So I've got this, and then I'm gonna make sure it's lined up and do a sharp crease. Okay, so you can see now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 folds that are evenly spaced. And I just have to do it to this area. This also has to be folded in half and match it up. Do a soft fold, check, make sure it's right in the middle. I think this step is a little bit hard to see, but I think that if you're doing it along with me, you just do the step, pause it. So now we've got this paper that it's all completely evenly divided. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 bolts. And then I've got my cross, of course. All right. Did you think that was difficult? I hope not. So what you need to see here is if we fold it like a fan, like we used to make when we were kids. You know, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then you're going to have something like this. You see? And we're going to have to do that again with each of these folds. So right now we have 4 mountains, and our goal is to have 8. Okay, so we've got to do each section, fold it toward the next fold again. So it's just going to get kind of like smaller and smaller. And now I'm wishing I had chosen the super, super thin paper that I had at school that I thought, oh my gosh, what is this, tissue paper? But it was even thinner than printer paper, so I thought, well, that's not good. Alright, so there I have gone down to the next fold, my first section, the first one of 8, and then I've got to give it a hard crease. Check it, make sure it's perfectly lined up. Alright, dun da da dun. I've made that mountain. I'm going to make 1 mountain into 2 mountains. So here's my little mountain, my newest little mountain. Next one, just going to take that one in half again. It should go to the nearest fold. You should be able to tell which fold it's going to go to, because it will go to the next big fold. I'm going to do a soft press, check it, make sure it looks right, and then crease it. Okay, so now I've got 3 big mountains and 2 little mountains. Hopefully this is not just too much detail for you. If it is, you can always skip ahead. So I made that 1 big mountain into 2 little mountains. That's basically what's going on here. And I got to do that to each section. I'm starting to get into it, actually. It's like, you know, OCD person's, you know, enjoyment. Let's see if I can figure out which fold it's going to go to. Do it in half. I see it. Okay, soft fold first, check it, and crease. Alright, I've got another division. It's kind of... Thank you, my husband. Watching TV. So now I've got 3 little mountains here down the end. Alright, I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to, you guys don't need to see every little mountain. I just wanted to point out that once you get to the center of the paper, rather than keep going, you know, from the outside edge, start on the other side. It'll be easier. Yeah, I'm getting there. What is that, live? Oh. Okay, so there I've got all my little mountains, and the other half is still big mountains. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to pause. Okay, so I just have to say that since I started from the other side and then went to the center again, when I folded it into the fan, I had to switch the folds around, so fold it the other direction. And so now I have all little mountains. And I am ready to take a photograph. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right on camera so you guys can see how to do this. What I do is I make myself like a little background sweep. That's what we call it in photography. I mean, I guess Some people call it a surround. But it's really, really, really great for product photography and art photography, like when you're photographing your artwork. So I just do it right on my laptop. I'm going to have a back wall, and then I'm going to have some sitting right on the keyboard, and then I'm going to tip my little sculpture here against the wall, try and straighten it out a little bit so it looks nice and even. And then I'm going to use my phone, since that's what everybody does nowadays. Okay, now I've got to get kind of close enough so that I can't really see the background, which is the tricky part, unless you have a nice big background, and I do not. Okay, so now I'm going to send that to myself. You guys, if you plug in, I'm just going to AirDrop because I have a Mac. Or however you send your photos from your phone to your desktop. You might be doing this all on your phone. I have no idea. So now there's my AirDrop. I'm going to move it to my desktop. Okay, and then I'm going to show you that picture. It's actually really cool. Like, oh, okay, let's go. Yeah. All right, so here's this. This is the raw file, but you can see the edges of it. HEIC is the raw file for an iPhone camera. And then if I move it up, you can see the bottom edges. Now, if I was really particular, and I am super particular, I could open up this file in Photoshop, and I could crop it so that it looks really, really perfect. And why not? So if you don't have Photoshop, you might have an editing software on your phone that you can crop. And what we want to do is just make this look really good. Because if you do that now, if you make your amazing photo right now, let me push my Photoshop over here in our window so you can see it a little better. And let's see, I gotta move over to see my tools. Hopefully this doesn't mess up my video. Okay, so crop. And I don't have to worry about anything like making all my pictures the same size. Those of you who know about aspect ratio. I don't want to crop that because I love that shadow. The shadow is awesome. Okay, so now I've got that cropped out. And I don't really want to straighten the background either because I like seeing all the little points along my edges. Alright, so that's a great picture for my portfolio. I mean, it's not like, astounding or anything, but it's pretty good. So that's a great first step for this project. So I'm going to File, Save As. Save it to my computer, and I'm going to keep its original file name. I always do that because I tend to lose things and I like keeping things in order, and that's an easy way to find things. And I'm going to call this Step 1 Paper Sculpture. I'm going to save that to my desktop. Now I probably want to start a folder right now to put things in, and we'll go ahead and do Step 2 tomorrow night, and maybe Step 2 and 3. That sounds like a good idea. And I absolutely love how it looks like a manila color because of the, I guess this is like, is this tungsten light? Or is this, what's the light bulb called?
Dim.
It says dim. I think it's tungsten. Anyway, tungsten has kind of like a yellowy glow. All right. So let's go back to see ya. I'll see you tomorrow night. And just a little FYI, a little secret. I did hear from the department head today that it sounds like they don't want to cancel our class. And we're hoping we get one more. I did promote. I hope you're all promoting so that we're completely safe. But it's looking like we're going to get to stay. So thumbs up. And I'll see you tomorrow.